Well, good evening, everyone. Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. It is what, May 20th. Holy crap, we're flying along here. And this is episode 52 of the Garage, Wednesday Night Garage Live, or where the hell it is called. And it's I, Dennis, with the Fluno. And we have actually a lot of just a potpourri, I guess, a potpourri of just stuff, because there's a lot of stuff happening in the car world, new and old. The old car world's very, very insane right now, and getting a lot of interesting comments on my videos. So I just did one on using a vacuum gauge, because I mean, it's amazing. People just forget that you that's a great tool to have. So there we go. So how you doing, Fluno?
Doing fine. I have not watched that video yet, but I did see it pop up. Doing really nice. A little breeze out. We've had some rain. I got magnolia scent, little mimosa, which is invasive to Florida, but it's still beautiful. I think some jasmine might be out there. So it's a very calm Zen evening tonight.
Sounds very
and we
zen
need
to
that.
me. I'm just in my friggin' office here
with puzzles.
with no. She's outside. She's outside with the other cat. They're staring at lizards too.
Okay.
As I call them, their friends.
Yeah.
So so tomorrow I'm gonna have some more. I'm gonna shoot some more video, and I'll probably finally put some stuff out on this 61 Chrysler 300G. It's this car. I mean, just throw this up there. It's this car with this friggin' cross ram on it, and tomorrow I have the fun and pleasure of doing some welding, because one of these bolts here broke on the well, and this is all right. This is aluminum, so to take the bolt out's easy because the weld won't stick to this. The other one is on this exhaust manifold down here. There's a little elbow for the heat stove, and I have to use a welder because there's no way for me to get any type of real drill in there, and it's sticking above. So it's just easier just to throw some bead on it, and then I gotta weld that elbow back together. Yay. This is gonna be like a whole fun video of just like, this is the fun of an old car. And yeah, so we actually had to order these rubber. See these little rubber things here? All right, so we had to order these little rubber for the balance tube. They were $80. $80 because they're special. It's special. Hi, Autobot.
Dang.
Hi, Larry Maldos and Shoes. You've been gone for a while. Glad to see you back. Yeah, so yeah, these are $80 for the pair of these things, and they're basically built like a tire. So there's reinforcements in there because this is on the intake manifold. So it is hot, and air flows back and forth between this hot air. So it's like a balance tube for the heads and for the carburetors to keep everything in sync. It's a wild setup, but so these can't leak because you'll have a massive vacuum leak. So there's that, and I'm gonna put in the tray tomorrow. Hopefully the Valley tray, and do that. So yeah, tomorrow should be a fun day of welding, and then silicone
Welding.
welding. Hey Rooney, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna be welding tomorrow. I can't wait. Hey, hi to Diesel. Diesel Larry. So yeah. But yeah. But the so this is gonna be a lot of fun, I guess, and it's supposed to be a comfortable 93. So it should be great. It should be just great. nothing like welding when it's 1,000 outside. I can't wait. So yeah, so there we are. So that's my whole agenda tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be one step closer to getting this car right. But it's just the whole. It's on an old car, and the thing is, if you look at this car, when I do the video for this car, when you look at this car, you would think the car is perfect. I mean, it literally looks that nice, but it is literally, here it goes. The question: how humid? It isn't horrible yet, We are only with a
Yeah.
dew point in the low 70s. So the humidity is like it's only at like 50 to 60%. So it only feels icky. So
Yeah.
in a month or so in June, it's only 2 weeks, it will go the humidity will be in the 70% and it will feel disgusting. So that's the beauty of it. I just can't wait. At least now in the evenings it does cool off, so it's not too oh, yeah, see, Rooney, look at this, man, he's out the 90s and 19%. Yeah, that's like, Nevada. I love that. I actually
Yeah.
I don't mind that at all. I really don't, because I sweat like a friggin' faucet. I'm horrendous. I sweat so bad. So it's like, I don't mind that at all. So yeah, so I'll have a video now. I'm working on my burnout video right now. It's taking forever because I have to cut out all the music because the music comes through on the microphone. I got to set my own background music, and I got to make the video interesting because I walk around and show some cars. So, yeah, it's really not that bad. So, because yes, I'll agree with that. When it's under 100, it isn't terrible, like in like Nevada, but once it gets into the triple digits, it's a little on the painful side. You actually kind of feel it, like it hurts a lot. So yeah, I was actually at the Hoover Dam, and it was 112.
Mhm.
That was warm,
Hot is
painfully
hot.
warm. Hot is hot, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
they have a great gig on getting water. They make it real hard, and they charge Disney prices because they know you're screwed. Oh, okay. So this is a big thing that's going on right now. Jalopnik finally got a clue on. Oh my God, Arizona in the middle of the night, it was 113. Oh, Jesus. Because sand holds in heat and slowly dissipates it. We were just talking about that with welding, because that's how you need to put cast iron in sand to slow the cooling process. Sand's amazing because, I mean, I've actually walked outside at night at my mom's, and she has she has sand. And literally, it was like, it felt like I was walking on hot coals. It was like 9 o'clock at night. It was like the sun had been down for a couple hours, and like I was still felt like I was burning my feet. It was terrible. And the Dodge RV had vapor lock. Yep, that'll happen. Oh, that will
Mhm.
happen. Oof. All right, so E15 affects gas mileage, but there's a reality check. See, the headline's pretty crappy, but hey, let's go with it. So, in an effort to drive down advertised fuel costs, which in 2011, the EPA began allowing refineries to blend larger quantities of cheap ethanol to gasoline. Well, that's a nice story. It's a fable. This was done as a subsidy for farmers. That's all this is, to pay farmers more than they would get if they were using this for food. So that's what this is all about. This was nothing more but a grift. So all right. So most of the gasoline you buy in the United States is E10 with 10% ethanol blend up to. You don't know how much is in there because ethanol is blended at the distribution point. It's not blended when they at the refinery. They have to truck in the ethanol separately. It can't be sent by pipeline because it absorbs too much water. So it's blended, like in Tampa, it's blended down at Port Tampa. And because it's blended at Port Tampa, you don't know how much is in there. It could be 5%. It could be 10%. Hell, there could already be 15% out there. You don't know. You do not know. And I have a feeling they don't sit there and test every batch. I just have a yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great. The def pump on the Ford went out. Of course, on back order. Is there any way to defeat that through Forescan? Because, dude, you don't need to use def anymore. There's got to be a way around that because you don't need to use it anymore. Jesus. Wow. Oh, but the thing will clog. Of course, the back. Yeah. Oh, I'm having my own fun with Ford. Actually, wait, let's go back. Let me just take a second here. So so that reminds me. So I went to Ford today to get my oil changed. And I asked about the recall on my truck. It's for the transmission. The transmission can shift from sixth to second at highway speeds, which would be an exciting ride. And my
Catastrophic.
service writer looked at me and she went, well, hey, it'll be available June 30th. Oh, okay.
Hey,
So now I can just play roulette now until then. Hopefully it won't happen. Nothing like having a 5,000 pound, 23-foot long truck lock its wheels up at 60 miles an hour. Because what could go wrong?
hope it doesn't that's my birthday gift to you on June 30th, that you get a new transmission.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Let's see. Also, yeah, Horatius always bringing it. Horatius always brings it. It was also done for environmental reasons by politicians. They saw that Brazil was doing it, and they could save the environment by doing some BS like instituting. Yeah, that was the cover story. But you know, the funny thing about Brazil is they have the world's largest oil supply off their coast. Petrobras is Brazil. They have I mean, seriously, they may have more oil than we do. They don't even know how much oil they have because it's all in the Atlantic Ocean. So you have to go get it. But they have a mass. But the thing is, the country has such crap infrastructure and they grow so much sugarcane. I mean, there's too much sugarcane that ethanol ends up being cheap for them because it literally, you know, it's just kind of there. They are in a jungle. I mean, it is the jungle. Stuff grows there. But we're taking food corn and making it into a product to run your car on, which is stupid. They're taking sugarcane. I mean, you know, they're making less rum, but sugarcane is a grass, and it grows like weeds.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, it's just 2 diesel. I had the 6-speed, which is the better transmission. But then again, of course, if there is a way, Ford can F it up. It's truly amazing. Ford always has a better idea. Of course. I mean, I love my truck. I mean, it has 123,000 miles, and I love it. It's been good to me, but there's, you know, some of these things. It's not as bad as the transfer case on the Bronco, which there is still no fix for that could actually lock up while driving. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, that's just great. So you throw everything in neutral and pray, I guess. So, Christ. All right. So, so they're gonna have an E15 blend. You see seasonality, regional availability. Well, Florida never had E15 because you can't have E15 here because it's too humid. I mean, you think you have moisture problems now, and have 15% ethanol in Florida gas. I don't see that as a good thing. Corn-based ethanol is the worst store of energy for than fossil fuel. Correct. Holding at 1/3 less energy than pure gasoline. E15's sales have traditionally been banned between June and September under the Federal Clean Air Act, but now the Environmental Protection Agency, which I don't understand why it's still in existence, it serves no purpose, commonly known as unleaded 88. Actually, there are places down here that sell it, and it's not much cheaper. Help lower fuel prices. The upfront cost benefits of ethanol gasoline are dubious at best. It's less efficient than regular gas and not readily available in every state. Let's take a closer look at the numbers, see the difference it makes. So first of all, vast majority of gasoline in the United States, 10% ethanol in it. Okay, so that's the baseline. So the thing is, the average car would burn 550 gallons of fuel a year. Okay, so the gas is $450 now. It's about $2,500 a year in gasoline. Switching to E15 means you're buying more gas. Well, it'd be less expensive. Not always the case. Because they don't know how much it really is saving. Because here's the trick with ethanol. Ethanol needs oil to be made, and because it needs oil to be made, you don't know. You know how much oil they're using to make the ethanol, and that's where it starts getting tricky, because that is really a problem. Second of all, it has to be trucked in, so you're using more, using more fossil fuels to truck it in to then mix it with gasoline. You also need to use a lot more fertilizer, which is petro-based. That's why we're having a fertilizer problem, because of a little issue we're having over in a certain Gulf with a certain strait.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they try to do the math here. So it's 25 cents less per gallon. The current, it's not a direct plug-in the math. So since efficiency drops, they say 2%. I have noticed that it's been more than 10% with the E10. It's closer. It's much more than 10%. It's truly amazing how much you actually really lose. My BMW is a good bellwether. On regular gasoline, I average 20 driving the E30, driving the way I drive, like 2021. Driving it with ethanol gas in there, I'm getting 17. So that's a little more than 2%. It's a lot more, because ethanol burns so fast that it absorbs water, and it just does all these things that make it less efficient. So it's like, so they're even calculating, you with their low number, you're only saving $90 a year, which is really not a big thing. It's not just worse for your car. It's been ethanol has been a consistent part of U.S. energy mix for over 100 years, but didn't really become mainstream until 73 oil embargo, where we reduce reliance on foreign oil, which we have no reliance on foreign oil. In fact, we're exporting gasoline right now. We actually have more gasoline than we can use. So there's that. The E10 standard was introduced in 1978. E15 was added to mix in 2011, but only during winter, spring, and autumn months. That's why up north, when in the wintertime, you seem like your car's running crappier. It's because it is. Because they're giving you a lot more ethanol in your gas. During the summer months, the heat of the day, ethanol is much more susceptible to evaporation, hence the bad fuel economy. Not only mean the liquid fuel you paid for is disappearing into the atmosphere, but also an environmentally harmful ground level ozone and visible pollution contributor. Oh, that's nice. Let's see. It can exacerbate lung diseases like asthma, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis. Ethanol's benefits as a renewable fuel and its marketing as a greener, cleaning, burning fuel is very currently disputed. While ethanol produces fewer tailpipe emissions than fossil fuels, the life cycle of the fuel and the massive land, fertilizer, and water commitment required to grow all the corn is simply too much to bear. Oops. And what did I just do there? Wow. Oh, this is a whole article the guy wrote. So yeah. So basically, we're once again being screwed over by politicians because they don't care, and they just want to suck up to a group that they think can help them stay in office. And that's what's basically happening. So there we are. Ethanol. I mean, this is, I hate this. It really is. I mean, it should be, there's no reason for this to be around.
And I want to interject that it's interesting you talk about this time frame of 2011, because when I bought my GT late 07 as an 08, if I remember correctly, I don't remember seeing any type of, and I could be wrong, but I remember seeing the ethanol stickers on the gas pumps in 08. And, when I got it, I would, do my highway driving. I usually drive 70, 75. I could push in that GT, even at proper driving, like close to 30 miles per gallon.
Yep.
After that started being entered in, at the most I would get would be like 26, 27, pushing it, usually about 25, 26. Okay. Yeah. And I also, and I'd also like to interject that it's amazing that we are literally burning our food for this. I mean, that is insane when you think about it. When, not to sound all, sunshine and unicorns here, but it's like, wow, your country is burning its food where the gasoline is doing just fine. And you have so much food to waste that you're burning crops. And like you just added all those things that go on top of it to make it efficient or affordable, which it's not, just like an appliance. Everything that goes into it, you're not making a cleaner planet, which we all want, especially living in this beautiful state. But it's not helping for the economy, for the environment,
No.
because of everything else. And how much is that costing with the transportation? The water, there's another one. Let's keep watering and fertilizing and wasting just to put such a small amount in cars for no great benefit whatsoever.
No, no, it's silly, and it's so destructive to cars because 2 diesel Larry, yeah, it also kills the cylinders. It's
Yeah.
rough. I mean, it is rough on cars because it burns so hot that you if it isn't computer controlled, if it isn't like, a modern car can kind of compensate, but an older car, it could actually really, if you have like, say you have RN12YCs in your 340, that plug is way too hot for ethanol. You're literally going to you're going to damage the car. Because if you're using a plug that they spec'd in 1970 when they were running real gasoline, now I'm
Right.
not even talking about the 110, I'm talking about just real gasoline, that when you go and you burn ethanol in there, it's so much hotter that if you don't adjust for it, you actually will damage your cylinders. And it's bad.
And I had to rebuild the carburetor of my Lincoln because at that time I was driving it all the time, and magically it started sputtering and this and that, and no, completely destroyed. And when I got it rebuilt, it actually said on the kit, it said ethanol friendly, or engineered for ethanol gas. That never was a problem before.
Nope.
Even 5 years earlier, never had that issue whatsoever.
Yeah, any old car, and I talked about it, you have to put a treatment in there. I use Stable Marine because the Marine is really made for moisture, because that's what it's made for boats. And you put it in there and keep it from getting annihilated. Also put a little bit of Marvel Mystery Oil in every once in a while, especially in a carburetor car.
Great stuff.
It helps. It helps keep everything clean, because ethanol is horrendous what it can do inside of a gas tank, inside of a fuel system, inside of your carburetor, and even fuel injection. It's tough on rubber. See, that's the other part of it. Ethanol is extremely tough on rubber. Even real fuel injection line, it's tough on it. And you'll have to replace stuff earlier. In fact, my E30 moved the other day, and I just changed this with the expensive, of course, because it's expensive now, fuel line, and the damn fuel line was leaking. And I'm like, you got, and I haven't been able to get ethanol free for it because the Murphy's is so erratic that I've been putting ethanol and treating it, and literally it's just been, I'm like, oh geez, wow. I love this too, Larry. I live a couple miles in, and they promised me beachfront property. Learn to swim. Yeah. All right. So, but I mean, it's such a bad idea, and that's why politicians are all behind it, because it's a terrible idea. I mean, we all can be united. It's a terrible idea.
Yeah. Now remember too about this when the first gas situation happened in 2008. Nobody had paid $4.30 a gallon, when magically all these E85 vehicles started popping up. And of course it had on the Maroni, it's like, great, here's E85 and it's quote cheaper. Your mileage was absolutely abysmal compared to regular gasoline. So big deal. I'm saving 38 cents again, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But I'm dropping like 25%. I am not exaggerating.
Oh, it could be even more than that.
It probably E85
is. car.
Is.
E85, it's half. I mean, it's half. It's I know people that have converted it because you get a lot of power, but like a guy had a 440 Roadrunner, and he converted it, but he's like, yeah, I'm getting tons of power. I'm getting 6 miles a gallon, but I got more power. I'm like, okay. But I mean, you can get a lot more power with it, but it's just the trade-off is brutal. So,
but those have drifted off. I think I don't see those.
No, that was the flex fuel. Those are the flex fuel. Ford called them flex fuels. Yeah, 85. Yes. Yeah, they've gone away. I don't even know how much they're really pushing it anymore.
Nah.
It just doesn't. It wasn't a good idea. So here is something interesting. And I didn't see this coming. I did not see this coming. It's one of those things in life that it's a pleasant surprise. And from all companies, General Motors. I'm shocked. Buick sedans are the most interesting part of the 2027 Chevy Camaro come back since they will share the same platform as Cadillac. So there will be rear-wheel drive V8 Buick sedans. Hell, they can make a Buick coupe. You know who this actually hurts most of all? Stellantis. This hurts Chrysler. This hurts Dodge massively. This is not a Ford problem. This is literally hurting Dodge and Stellantis in general, because a Buick, a rear-wheel drive Buick, priced as Buicks are probably what, in the 40s, right? Maybe low 50s, still cheaper than a Charger, but it'll be a Buick. It will be a probably more standard looking car, and it'll have a normal drivetrain in it. Holy crap! This may be one of those big thing. Oh, it's a Crown Vic is flex. Yeah, Ford was big on that. So this is actually very fascinating. I'm actually very intrigued by this because this is going to be with the new V8. So it's not it's the next generation LS that they're coming out with, and that's what's going in these cars. That is going to be next level. So not only will Buick have sedans again, not only will Chevy Camaro and Buick sedans share the same platform, but Buick sedans will share a platform with Cadillac, which is what they used to do long time ago. Long time ago, they shared the same platform. Buick currently sells only a crossover SUVs, the Envista, the Envision, the Encore, and the Enclave. Very creative naming there. Incredibly creative, I can tell. The last ones were the Lucerne, LaCrosse, Regal. Yeah, we could forget those two. The Regal was the last sedan sold by Buick, going off market in 2020. And the car was technically a hatchback. Cadillac, of course, does sell sedans, pretty nice ones, actually. Hobdollar flagship, the appliance Celeste, which I don't think is doing very well. The CT4 and the CT5 do well. V-Series Blackwing. The Alpha platform is used by the current CT4 and CT5. It's being updated for 2027 for the Camaro. And the next CT5 and whatever Buick kicks up, that the powertrain and powertrains will be internal combustion engines and not electric because they're smart. There will be no hybrid. So this is going to be a simple gas-powered engine. Holy mackerel. They are literally going to, I mean, honestly, if they're priced right, they're going to literally clean up. Seriously, rental car companies. I mean, because a rental car company, a V8 is perfect because you get the hell beat out of it and keep driving it. So it's rear-wheel drive, and it keep a rear-wheel drive car. It'll be first rear-wheel drive non-SUV Buick has made since the Roadmaster. Yeah, in '96, the Beastmaster. They won't be surprised if all-wheel drive is available, but it'll probably be an option. So their take on it. Buick, of course, has earned the reputation for selling sedate cars to older people seeking comfort that was somewhat luxurious but not level Cadillac. Buick existed alongside Oldsmobile's entry-level brand for seniors. Yeah, that's what they end up becoming. Our Oldsmobile promised more sport than Buick. Oldsmobile was shut down in 2004, which is totally sad. Buick went SUV in 2020. The brand might not even exist right now, but during a federally mandated trip through bankruptcy during 2008, General Motors cut down its brand portfolio to just 4, and Buick was chosen over Pontiac because of popularity in China. It was the grills. The Chinese like the Buick grills. They like that waterfall grill. It's why it survived, and it's sad that Pontiac went away. This is one of those horrible things. So let's see. Buick sedan is interesting, but is it going to be fun to drive? Perhaps awfully attractive style. We think Buick will draw more attention to the brand, but some folks that'll still perceive Buick as a brand for old people. I don't think so anymore.
Now those little smaller SUVs are actually I see a lot of them in quality control aside. They seem to be somewhat popular, especially among younger folks.
I don't think Buick has an old person problem if they build the right car, because Cadillac doesn't. The Cadillac CTS is my age and younger. I mean, mid-50s and younger. The boomers aren't. That's not a boomer car. That is literally a Gen X car, and they like it. And so the car that catches attention but sells low numbers, the Halo car, which is like the Corvette, whatever. But that isn't what you need. You need to have a car that everybody can buy, which Stellantis doesn't understand. They have no friggin' clue that how that's supposed to work. Ford, it's good. They're gonna bring that Camaro because Ford's still selling the Mustang. It'd be fun to watch, see how they're gonna compete. So this is very interesting, and this is actually probably one of the more useful bits of information for normal people, because if they build a decent sedan that actually is a nice size with the rear-wheel drive V8, you actually are going to have a reliable car that you can drive and drive and drive. And it isn't always, and the thing is, a V8 fuel economy now is not like it was in 1968. A V8 can easily get, if it's tuned, it could get like almost 30 on the highway, easily up almost 30 on the highway, especially with the new technology for actually controlling fuel, not even cylinder deactivation, just controlling fuel. And you'll get near 20 in town. So this is actually and honestly, turbo cars get just as bad, if not worse, because once you start getting into turbo, that fuel economy drops like a stone, 100%. So it's double nuts. They need to bring back olds. Yes, they do, but they're not going to. Now with this current regime at GM. And the thing is, though, what products would you give Olds and Pontiac? The market shifted so much. It really doesn't make any sense anymore. So it's a shame, though. But those two companies, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like, why is GMC still around, but Pontiac isn't? Because GMC serves no purpose now. Yeah. They literally make the same truck as Chevy. There's no difference in the trucks anymore. 20-cent motor Ram is dropping e-torque. That was stupid to have the e-torque anyway. It's garbage. It's one of the stupidest ideas I've ever seen. Only Stellantis could think of that. TK Garage. He says a lot of stuff, and so they used to want to push Pontiac as a performance division. What can they be now? See, that's the problem. Pontiac was the race division. It really, in the 50s into the 60s, it was the race division. And yeah, they have no place for it right now, because nothing can be faster than the Corvette. And you really don't have a lot of place to put it. What product line would you introduce for Pontiac that you can't do with somebody else? They were on the right track with the Solstice. The Solstice absolutely would have been a phenomenal car if it hadn't been released when it was released. It was released right before the Great Recession. And that was a shame, because the car was fun. The car was fun to drive. It was fast. But, I don't know. They're at this point, unless they made it like a tuner division, because General Motors doesn't have anything to compete with Japanese tuner car straight up. They really don't. They have nothing. They really have nothing to compete with that market anymore. They used to, when they had the Cavalier, or what was the last thing they had? The
Cobalt.
The Cobalt. Those actually were competitors. Those were competitors for Honda. Literally, that's what they were.
Tuned about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this. Double nuts. 2009 G8, and build a 65 Cutlass with an LQ9. I think he means LS. I think. Wow, that's gonna be psychotic. The G8 is probably one of the most underrated cars to ever be built. It's a 4-door sedan that absolutely will eat sports cars, eat them, and you can get all the Holden power goodies for that, including 4-piston Brembo brakes on all corners. All corners, you could have 4-piston brakes. The car's an animal. Absolute animal. Yeah. So you're saying bring back the Sunfire? Actually, yeah, the Sunfire would make sense now. Honestly, if you look at Toyota and their lineup for smaller cars, and Honda, their lineup for smaller cars, even Hyundai, their lineup for smaller cars, the Sunfire fits right in there if you make it at least not crap quality.
Right.
Oh, the GP, the general purpose car. Yeah. That is oh, the LQ9 is a 6-liter LS out of an Escalade. Oh dear Christ. Wow. That's gonna be an animal. Jeez. Nice. 65 Cutlass is not a big car.
But the problem is too is that we're still in such a, and it's not going to end anytime soon, such a crossover world. I mean, for
Yes.
Buick to bring out this V8 sedan, maybe a coupe, a two-door, maybe, and with anything else that a Cadillac could come from it, what would Pontiac really offer as a performance division? Because that was what was happening, is they were rebranding, or pardon me, badge engineering all these other Utes. And unfortunately, they just don't have that performance attitude. Oh boy,
there's nothing.
Here.
Yeah, there's nothing. See, General Motors baked themselves into a corner, and because of things that were all politically viable and whatnot that they had to do. They now literally have these divisions, and unfortunately, you can't make anything faster than a Corvette. You're not allowed to. That is a corporate edict. You can't. But here's the thing: their dealer network, their whole everything doesn't seem like it would be able to support that type of car that would be, to that, that 20-something-year-old that wants something kind of cheap and fast, like a GR86. Right. Because a GR86 is a pretty decent selling car, not great, but decent.
Sure.
And, the same thing with the hot hatches, all the Volkswagen hot hatches, they're decent selling cars. And, but General Motors with Pontiac, though, you can't just have one car. I mean, Chrysler has one car in a division, but you can't be a one-car division. You need to have several cars to make it a division. And it doesn't make any sense for General Motors to spend all the money on marketing and research and development and having different lines. And it just doesn't work.
Network. You have to reinvent, basically. Just like I thought Oldsmobile was a beautiful car, 50s, 60s, even 70s. But it's so long gone now, it would be like trying to, bring back a Studebaker in some ways. Like,
yeah, it's been 20 years.
There's lineage, but no one remembers it. Especially, think about it. You're born in 2000. You'd have no idea what an Oldsmobile is.
Nope.
And if it wasn't for us being car folks, most people, even us growing up, wouldn't know what a Studebaker was, as a kid. But because we had parents and this and that, and we're motorheads.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. I mean, I went into a parts store last year at my buddy to buy a part for a Plymouth GTX, and the guy behind the counter, who was probably like 20, said, "What's a Plymouth?" Plymouth went out. Right. Plymouth went away in 2004. I mean, it hasn't been that long, and it would only been like 20 years. And literally, he looked at us like we were asking for something from a hump mobile. I mean, literally, just absolutely just befuddled. And I'm like, "Oh, this is not good." I mean, but that's a Plymouth, which is a very big nameplate, and it's still pretty high on the food chain.
That's still talked about. Exactly.
Yeah, because you have Roadrunners. I mean, that's this kind of thing. You have Roadrunners.
Sure.
But Oldsmobile, you're right, though. Oldsmobile, I mean, you're right. It was more of a niche brand, and honestly, bringing that back would almost be impossible. Pontiac, you may have a chance because GTO is a big thing. But, I mean, for Pontiac to be brought back, you'd have to have 3 or 4 vehicles. I mean, you have to have a GTO. But then what are you going to use for a GTO? And make it a Camaro, basically based on the same thing the Camaro's based on. Now you're just you made something that competes against yourself. It's the same car. Right. This is the problem they fell into in the 90s when they were all the same. The Camaro, the Firebird, the Trans Am. They were all the same. They were the same car. And I mean, the Trans Am and the Firebird are the same car, but literally the levels of Camaro competed against all those. I mean, it's the same. It's just the same thing. So it made no sense. Hey, vintage 76 Viper Green. How you doing? Good to see you. So yeah, that's an interesting query about. Maybe I'll even do a poll on that, like about doing for Pontiac. Like if you tried to bring it back, what 4 things you're going to bring back to make it so it's actually, something that somebody would want? Or should you not do it at all? I mean, Oldsmobile is just at this point, the only thing that Oldsmobile could have going for it is that you can make it cheaper Cadillac, because that's what it used to be. But is there enough
And bells
room?
and whistles. It was like their Jetson futuristic test ground of numerous things.
But
like
I
if
mean,
it was up to me, if Pontiac came back, I think it would be great. Again, you can't have like what Mustang tried with or is with the Mach-E. You can't have a GTO crossover. That would just be sacrilegious. If it was up to me, it'd be a Grand Prix, a Grand Am, the Solstice. Okay, whatever. But to me, it'd have to be like the Grands and a Bonneville. I think you'd have to bring back real names and put them on something that really popped to make it special, not rebadging for the heck of it to say, oh, wow, the brand's back. No one cares.
Yeah, but I mean, that's and the other thing is, now you got to also remember it would have to be sandwiched between Buick and Cadillac.
Right.
I don't know if there's enough room there to put car lines, because you're only talking maybe 15, 20 grand. I mean, you're not talking a big
What about Chevy to Buick? What about Pontiac, how it kind of used to be between Buick and Chevrolet? Would that be better for Pontiac?
There's also, Chevy has no cars, so it actually would work. I mean, Pontiac has a better chance of being at the lower end, but these would have to be bare bones cars, and that's the only way. The only way I could see it working is bare bones, and really, really basic cars. But then again, how much? Well, then again, with price, you actually may sell it, and the name is still strong enough that it may actually have some. There actually may be some validity to this, but we'll never know, because General Motors is not they seem like they're getting a little better, but they're still General Motors. I mean, General Motors seems like they could screw up a 1-car parade. So, I mean, seriously. Though I know Stellantis gives them a run for their money, and we'll be talking about them a little bit later, because Jesus. God, being a Mopar guy is really painful right now. I mean, it's literally the most painful thing in the world. It hurts. It literally hurts. It hurts so bad. Oh, okay. So let's go and take a look at my favorite thing that I broke many, many years ago, many months ago now, because Christ, it's been that long. It literally has been that long. First Brands. Everybody always wants an update on First Brands. GM will give Chinese historical names next. Nice. So Fed say trustees should take over First Brands case. So what this means is that the Department of Justice and the bankruptcy judge are basically at the point where you guys, this is screwed. This is utterly and utterly screwed. So what they want to have happen, so it should be taken over by a court supervised trustee who can finish liquidating the assets. This is Chapter 7. This is no longer Chapter 11. This is no longer selling businesses as a whole ongoing concern. This is basically fire sale time. That is where we are at this point. This is what they're talking about. Like I said, the auditor has gone through all the money to audit this. It's so bad. And the court cases don't begin for another 2 months. This is going to be horrendous. Already, the company's paid out advisory fees of $245 million in advisory fees. That's how screwed this is. A trustee can effectively liquidate assets and pursue these litigation claims at a fraction of the existing costs. So basically, a fire sale. This is as bad as it gets. So it'll be a Chapter 7. Representative First Brands didn't return request. Of course they didn't. They filed last year on allegations of massive fraud, which looks like they've done. Should the U.S. trustee request win court approval, the current restructuring team led by law firm Weil, Goldstoff and Manges and financial advisor Alvarez and Marcel were replaced by a trustee. The person would use First Brand's only remaining major asset, lawsuits against former companies, insider and others to raise money for creditors. So basically, the only stream of income that this company has right now, outside of liquidating things, is suing the previous owners. That is the only way they can get any money at this point. This is terrible. They owe billions of dollars that they can't repay. They have fired thousands of employees and closed dozens of facilities. So they're hoping for a quick and normal sales process, which is not going to happen. Fee spree, including in the $245 million First Brands paid out bankruptcy advisors, creditors through March is about $77.8 million to its main law firm. Do you know who makes money in all the court cases? The lawyers. Isn't that amazing? They made $77 million. Somebody has bought a yacht. Jesus. They have also paid $13 million in the weeks leading up to the September Chapter 11 filing. Holy, including $9 million to Wheel, the filing shows. In general, the fees were in line with the amounts of large bankruptcy companies must pay to get top law firms to invest banks in Chapter 11, where partners and top firms bill more than $2,500 an hour. Oh. Bankruptcy fees have risen along with many other types of professional services. See, my friend, her husband, is one of these guys. He is one of these guys. And he bills the moment he leaves his house to the moment he is done. He flies out there, goes into the meeting, and is done talking and goes back to his hotel room. He bills from the moment he leaves his house till the time he goes to his hotel room at $2,000 an hour. Just think of that for a second. Vintage 76, can't believe news stations haven't done stories on First Brands. Something doesn't sound right about the subject. No, this is one of the biggest frauds in U.S. history, and it has been buried by the media. It has been buried. And you know what's really sad is that other YouTubers did videos on this, not truly understanding the entire concept of it, and then did not go back and refer to my videos, which explained in psychotic detail just how bad this is, and why had no one in the media has actually picked this up yet and run with it is terrifying. This affects everybody. It isn't old car people. It is with Cardone going away. Your 10-year-old cars are now not going to have parts available for them. Cardone was a major player in replacement parts, and they're now gone, completely and utterly now gone. And there's no talk of Cardone being bought by anybody, and neither is Ray Asbestos. And I'll go to that in a second. Those companies are gone. They're gone. They're no longer coming back. They're not going to be absolute. They're not going to be restarted. They're not going to sell companies. They're liquidating right now. So whatever the patents are, whatever the intellectual properties are, is what they're going to sell. Maybe they'll sell the equipment off. Maybe somebody will buy it. Maybe buy the IPs. But this is a fire sale. This is literally a fire sale at this point. Now, though the company which owes lenders billions can't repay it, has so little value that it can't even pay its administrative expensive bills that include employee wages and legal fees considered vital to reorganize. The U.S. trustees set in motion so far. The First Brand says $233 million in unpaid administrative claims. First Brand's current bankruptcy proceeding properly favor a limited group of professionals and lenders who have received the benefits of the unpaid administrative creditors' work. So they have allowed the case to drag on long enough that any pittances offered to the creditors will seem a comparable fortune. So basically, they're saying that the people helping with the bankruptcy are bleeding the bitch dry, and because they're bleeding the bitch dry, these other companies will not get anything. And now this is what's going to turn this into a disaster. And you know what's even funnier is that our politicians, where are they? Where are all these people that are allegedly looking out for you and me? Where are they in this? Because this is of national security, because we have that run around. This is national security. These are American companies making American parts for American cars. It's mainly American cars that are affected by this. And there is absolutely no one taking out and going, hey, this is really bad. This is a terrible, terrible thing happening right now, and it is actually disgraceful that our government has done nothing to stop this, because they let law firms basically steal, and they've done nothing to try to find a way to fix, because these are, maybe they weren't union jobs, so one party doesn't really care, I guess, even though they're American workers, and allegedly they supposedly support American workers. They're American workers. Cardone was based in Philadelphia, and you can't get any more American than that.
No.
This is
Well, especially
embarrassing at
their
this point.
representatives. Like, I mean, their
Yeah.
local representatives, even at a state level, to start the ball rolling. Your local, from the ground up, you might say, where are, like, hypothetically, say something was, one of these businesses might have been in Tampa. You would think, and I do know one person who probably would make a stink about this if it was a local major manufacturing, whether it's cars or candles, it wouldn't matter. We know one person who would fight for it, but where are all the other local representatives for their own people?
Don't know. I don't know. This is, and especially it's an election year, and I'm hearing crickets, man. I mean, this is supply chain on steroids. I can't even describe how much Cardone made. In my video, I think they said they made like they had like hundreds of thousands. Wait. Yeah, I think they had hundreds of thousands of things that they actually worked on. Like, they literally had that much. Their catalog is enormous. I think it was actually 45,000 items. Think of that for a second. Their catalog's 45,000 items, mainly brake stuff, mainly steering. There's some other parts they make too, but mainly that 45,000 items, and it was for American cars. Ray Bestis made brake parts for all American cars. They were original equipment on most cars up through the 90s, early 2000s. I mean, they were the OEM part, and they have the dies and whatnot for all the parts, and it doesn't cost any money to make a brake rotor from a 67 GTX and put it on the shelf. It costs whatever that steel is. You put it on the shelf, and it stayed there for decades and not rust and not go away. I mean, literally, these assets are so easy to take and pile up and be able to have a supply of them. But we lost all that manufacturing. Chentric is gone. Power Stop's gone. So basically, they're all just gone. And there is no recovery. There's been no talk of these companies. These are massive companies that we need to make stuff. I mean, they went and all the high-end, all the high-line stuff got sold off. Fram, Autolite, Anco, the die company, that, because General Motors, not General Motors, Ford and Stellantis need that die company to make parts for their cars, engine compartment covers, air conditioning covers, pieces of dash. That die and mold company made all that stuff for them. OEM. They needed that company to still be in business. And right now we're at a point where, no main media is covering this. There's no talk of this. To me, finding news stories on this, let me tell you, it may seem like I'm not showing a lot. It's because I've spent this week, I probably spent about 8 hours trying to find information on this. The information is not out there. It literally is not out there. There's some behind paywalls, but then I can find other things, and it's referencing the same stuff. There is literally, there's literally nothing out there at all on the interwebs. There's nothing. It is absolutely amazing, the lack of coverage. And yes, Vintage, absolutely. I even commented on there because Uncle Tony should have talked about it. Should have brought my channel. Absolutely 1,000%. 1,000%. I'm a little tweaked on that, and I should be. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I've been talking about this for 6 months now, and it's just every time I've talked about it, it gets worse because there's nothing left. I mean, I knew when it happened that it was, and I said that in my first thing is like, this is going to be bad, because we're now talking about fraud on an Enron level, and that all worked out so well. So this is really terrible. 20 Cent Motors. They destroyed all the dies for the parts. How much will Ford refund? No. What it was is that the company was going to be liquidated, and they were still in business. So it's Toledo Mold and Die, and they kept Stellantis and Ford found a buyer, another supplier to buy the company to keep it from going out of business, because they would have been screwed. I mean, seriously, there's so much plastic and stuff on cars now that the people making those parts for you, you kind of need them very badly at this point. No, I didn't see that. Oh, I got to go back and look for the comments. I don't know if I don't think he ever replied to mine, which I'm pretty pissed off about. It's okay though. That's fine. Yeah. All right. Let's see. In the 90s, GM was still using the old dies until they broke then the licensed their parts, like Chrysler, who was the first to destroy theirs. Chrysler. We can have, I'm probably do a whole video on how Chrysler destroyed all the molds for the 440. All the B and RB engines, they actually literally destroyed it. The Hemis, they didn't, because they sold it to Keith Black. Keith Black bought the original Hemi molds, and Keith Black, I believe. See, I'm trying to remember if Keith Black actually bought the 426 name too. I mean, it was a fire sale, so I'm trying to remember clearly if they have it or not, because I know that Chrysler has Hemi, or Stellantis has Hemi, that they have trademarked, but I'm not so sure about, and Chrysler just it was insane what they did. It was before the bankruptcy. It was like 78 they did it. They absolutely they stopped making the 440s. They stopped making the 400s, and they destroyed the molds. Just insanity. I mean, just absolute insanity. So, I mean, it really, the late 70s, such a dark time, and it actually kind of led us to where we are now, which is really bad. Yeah. So, all right. So I did a search. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how I search. Right. This is literally me searching. All right. This is what you get. I did a search. Rate bestest company for sale. Right. Rate bestest company for sale. All right. So, Yahoo. This is from March 2026. LinkedIn. Anyone worried about asbestos availability? From Reddit, the hell of the internet. The Break Report, January. Martech Edge, January. Facebook, from Motor Age 4 months ago. Buy Brakes, February 6th, February 13th, January 30th. Stop Tech and Raybestos dead after $6 billion fraud. That is what I find when I go looking for information on this. That garbage. That is literally the amount of information that you learn from going on the internet and looking up first brands. There is literally not much. There is literally not much they can do anymore. There's not much. There's not much out there, and no one is reporting on it, which is disturbing. I mean, you should be everybody should be disturbed at this point that we haven't had any follow through, any type of update on this. There's been nothing. Your politicians aren't talking about it. Your newspapers aren't talking about it. The New York Times not talking about it. It's supposed to be such a champion of the people. The New York Times is not talking about it. No one is talking about this except trade magazines. And it is literally one of the worst bankruptcies in the 21st century by far. I mean, there have been bankruptcies that have been bad. This one actually hurts the most people. This hurts millions and millions of people, because all you need to do is own a car, and this screws you. It takes parts out of the market. It makes everything more expensive. That's all this does. And nobody's talking about it. And I am so irritated about that no one is talking about it. And I will just keep on talking about it till someone else starts talking about it, because this is literally needs to be talked about with facts. Because Uncle Tony said it was private equity. It was not private equity. No. In fact, these guys ripped off private equity firms.
Yes.
Because this was a regular good old greedy company with two greedy owners ripping every partner they ever came in contact with off. That's what they did. They ripped off banks. Jefferies Bank is still hiding how much money they've lost. Jefferies was a major creditor of this company. We have no idea how much Jefferies has lost at this point. They are still hiding it. They've owned up to $30 million, which seems like pennies at this point, because there's no way they've only lost $30 million when you're a major creditor of this company. It doesn't make any sense. 20-cent Motors still needs to break.
Google. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Probably Google.
No, I was gonna say. Meanwhile, you could probably Google this. The whenever it's going to happen, Ocala Buc-ee's, and you'd probably find national news about it. Which, again, trust me, we don't ask my opinion on it. I mean, I like Buc-ee's, but everyone talks. That's what I'm getting at. Is it's it's like a borderline the bread and circuses of
Correct.
news versus people actually being really hurt. And you made a great point. It's not, I mean, obviously the workers and the economies of people's family and making money, but affecting the consumer. It's such a travesty on various levels. It's a snowball effect that is, it's catastrophic.
It is. And it boggles my mind how, alleged people that are supposedly protecting our interest, which this is our interest, have just decided that this multi-billion with a B dollar bankruptcy that has taken out a massive amount of product for cars in the United States, American-made cars, because my BMWs are not affected by this. Those parts are made in Italy, Turkey, other European countries. I have no problem getting any parts for those cars because they're not made here. But now with when you go and try to buy parts for your 2005, let's say a 2006 Chrysler 300, good luck.
Yeah.
Because most of those, because Stellantis doesn't make those parts anymore. So now I don't know what you do at this point. And I mean, everybody out there, you need, and I guess I'm gonna have to start doing this. I'm gonna start absolutely spamming my congressman, and I'm gonna start spamming our two useless senators, because this is ridiculous at this point. We have literally gotten to the point where this company is now just being torn apart and sold in pieces, and basically the creditors who are also going to hurt, which also hurts us, because if everybody remembers 2008, you may not have had a loan or an investment in that, but you sure as hell got hurt by it, because you don't have to be in that business to get hurt by it.
Nope.
And this is the same thing with this, because there are going to be banks that are going to be screwed because of the exposure to this, because we don't know how much exposure is. We don't even know how much money it is. That's the part that's scary. They throw a number, the billion number around a lot. They throw around like between 10 and 20. We don't know. It could be 30 billion. It could be 40 billion. That there is the disturbing part of it. No one truly knows how much money is missing, because they had two sets of books and nobody's been able to reconcile them. That's why the auditors run out of money already. But the lawyers who are slowing the case down have gotten paid handsomely. So there's the priorities. So let's go and move. Let's change gears now to something more fun, bagging on Stellantis. Because tomorrow they're going to talk about their way forward. And I have a couple of quick little stories on them. And just kind of what's going on in their world, because as a Chrysler guy, this is it's sad at this point. And we're gonna go see. Let's start with this. This is something that's ongoing now. If you know anybody that owns one of these 4XEs, they probably should get rid of it. So this Grand Cherokee 4XE owner got stuck with the bill. He got stuck with the bill after thermal runaway. So the little battery pack caught fire in this thing. Jeep, it's great. It says Grand Cherokee, but it's a Grand. It says Wrangler here, but it was a Cherokee. After experience with its plug-in hybrid system, it kind of caught fire. So shows why the Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe owner was left dealing with a financial burden after his vehicle experienced thermal runaway and is now neither Stellantis nor his insurers appear to want to give her an easy time. So the insurance company is going, well, too bad. It's an appliance. Tough. Nice going. Smoke from a thermal runaway unfolded on February 21st. The owner stepped out of her home, inspected the situation, and eventually called 911, prompting a response from 2 fire stations and a hazmat unit because it's EV or hybrid, whatever. First responders disconnected the electronics and moved the vehicle away from the home as a safety measure. And she called AAA and insurer for towing, but the latter report arrived only the next morning. Yeah. Stellantis told the owner it could repair or replace the defective part under warranty, but it sounds like a fix. But for a defect of this magnitude, some could argue that total loss would make more sense, as damage from thermal runaway could create long-term reliability concerns. Meanwhile, the insurer denied the insurance claim, maintaining the issue as a manufacturing defect. Time to get a lawyer involved. However, the incident may not fall entirely on Stellantis or the insurer. The owner was allegedly contacted a few weeks before the incident for having a high-voltage battery replaced, but she could not bring in the vehicle because of her work schedule. She also charged the vehicle despite recall guidance for more than 320,000 4xe models, instructing owners not to charge them. Yeah, well, I have some thoughts on the 4xe at the end of this, because this is the gift that keeps on giving. Whatever the interpretation of the situation may be, it's undeniable that the owner was left dealing with a costly expense, paying for a vehicle she could not even drive, while also covering the cost of rental vehicle out of her own pocket. Incidents like this continue to raise questions about whether some electrified systems are being pushed to the market to comply with stricter emission regulations before their long-time reliability are fully addressed. For now, it still is part of the portfolio, which is insane, though the plug-in hybrid models were reportedly phased out in North America beginning in 2026. Okay, so let me talk about this 4xe for a second here. This 4xe has had 5 major recalls. 5. It's at 5 major. People bag on Ford for stuff. No. If you want to see true incompetence, Stellantis says, hold my beer. The 4xe actually has 3 recalls where the vehicle stops moving all by itself while driving. It will literally come to a stop in the middle of the road. And they have had 3 recalls on it, 3 fixes. They have never repaired it. Now they have a problem with the batteries, the charging system, where I guess it's not coping and not compensating and letting the batteries get hot and get a thermal runaway. This honestly, once again, where's our government? Where's the National Highway Safety? These trucks should be pulled off the road. They should be lemon lawed. Yeah. There's no reason a vehicle with this many problems. I mean, think of this. There have been like the General Motors X vehicles. I mean, all they did was lock up the rear wheels, and General Motors ate that money. They ate that car, and they had to buy people new cars. I mean, they had to do everything. This thing catches fire or will kill you because it stops in the middle of the road or won't move at all. And I don't understand how, where is, first of all, we're supposed to have protection for this type of stuff. But this, these hybrid vehicles, this is why I don't want to, oh my God, who's going to work on a parody of literal runaway to thermal runaway? I think I'll run that through, AI. She's a thermal runaway. Hold on.
That's like when George Carlin joked about, water landings, and he's like, it's called a crash. Okay. Yes. It's a thermal runaway. It's a fire, but they try to, again, I love the, what corporate speak, you might say.
Well, it's worse than a fire. A thermal runaway is basically a reaction that has no control. Unlike a fire, you can't put it out.
I
So
see. Okay.
that thing probably smoldered all night long. I mean, those
Okay.
firemen probably tried really hard, but I mean, there's only so much you could do to
Interesting.
smother it because lithium ion batteries make
Right.
their own oxygen.
Right.
And honestly, if you go watch, there's a video on YouTube. I forgot what channel it's on, but they show damaging lithium ion batteries and the run and how they go bye-bye.
Yeah.
Once you watch this, you'll never want them in your vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad enough they're in our phones and whatnot, but those are small and they can only do so much damage. This
Sure.
is imagine having like 1,000 AA batteries attached together that if one starts going and catching fire, all 999 other ones are going to catch fire all at once and burn so hot they can melt steel.
Yeah.
They can actually melt steel.
And then it goes to the rest of the car, etc. So, okay, interesting.
It's
forget
bad.
my ignorance on that. I thought it was more like a softer.
No,
versus,
no,
wow,
no.
that's amazing.
There are videos out there
Wow.
where they test them, and they actually have to do it like in a concrete room that is, I mean, a solid concrete room, and
Amazing.
they have to be far away from it. And literally, one battery made a flame. It made a flame out like this. One battery, one size of a AA, a flame out like this, and literally annihilated a piece of steel. It was like a steel rod they were using to pierce it. It literally it melted. It just disintegrated. It vaporized it. It was insane how bad it was. And so now we're at the point where, these 4XEs are dangerous. And
I took a picture one day. I was coming home from work. I'm like, oh, look, 4X. I don't know if I'm sure I sent it to you, but I'm thinking, oh, here's some awful electric thing. I had no idea that I was right behind a ticking time something.
Time bomb.
Yeah,
something that's worse. I mean, literally, it's worse than the Pinto. I mean, honestly, I mean, this is bad, and they've never fixed it, and it's still for sale on our market. Once again, this is why I despise government.
Yeah.
I am so anti-government. It's not funny because they don't do anything. If you think that the government does anything to protect you, you really need to start reevaluating because they really don't. And the NHTCAA, whatever, they went after Toyota hard for floor mats, but General Motors killed a lot of people with their ignition systems, and that was fine. Nobody got dragged out in front of Congress. Nobody, no, there's nothing happening to General Motors. Amazing. How's that funny?
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So, we'll have some positive news for Stellantis. No, not really. What am I talking about? So this is and Knuskis isn't even in this. This is so great. This is his division. And they released their idea to help save, Ram, help make it so they're not the fourth largest truck company because they are behind Toyota now. Even though Toyota has engines that aren't built very well anymore, but still doesn't matter. Here is their thing, the 1500 Rumblebee. There we go. Here's this. Everything's solved now for all you people needing a work truck. Here it is. You can get a 395 horsepower 5.7, which that makes, if that wasn't a work truck, that'd be fine. A 470 horsepower 6.4 liter, or hell, you can have a Hellcat motor because this is what everybody needs right now. This is so wonderful how this is what everybody does not need. You know why Ford can make a Lobo? Because they have F-150s that are work trucks and they come with V8s in them, and they can make a Lobo because they sell almost 1 million of them a year. So they can easily do that and go, screw it. We'll make a specialty model. Big deal. Doesn't matter. Ram, you don't sell 300,000 vehicles a year. Your V6 is not really taking off very well. Your V8 really is kind of not at a good place. And this is your idea of solving your problem. And yet Knuskis is still not here. I saw an interview kind of with him, but I've yet to see him in public. It's been 6 months. It's very interesting how he's hiding. So they're going to have They're going to have these trucks with these crazy engines in them that you won't be able to afford. You won't be able to afford to put gas in them. You won't be able to afford to insure them, but sure, why not? So they'll have a standard 392. The whole family shares Ram sophisticated multi-link rear suspension. SRT has built-in adaptive dampers, air springs at every corner. All stuff the truck people need. All stuff the truck people need. Yep, V8 trucks for everyone. Sure. The 395 5.7 liter will be accessible to almost everyone. It looks mean as hell too. I don't know how that's accessible to everyone because I'm going to get down to the pricing because all this is all nonsense. We don't care. So they're going to start 60 grand. Start at 60 grand. Before tax, tag, and title, you're 60 grand for a truck with a V8 in it. Hello? No, thank you. I mean, honestly, no, thank you. Your Hellcat one is going to be 6 figures, and God help you on the insurance. I mean, for me, even being a clean driver in my 50s, a Hellcat for me would probably be 7 grand a year. Easy. 7 grand a year Hellcat. Anything Hellcat would be 7 grand for me. Unaffordable. Even the base one here, I don't think I could afford the insurance on it. I definitely can't afford the nut on it. It'd be 60,000 empty. Yeah, this is not good. Oh, hi, Jack and Rod. How you doing? Let's see. Yeah, Rudy. Any availability of rubber floor mats, stick shifts, no power, anything inside? Yeah, right. Sure. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. No, these are all going to be loaded trucks. They're going to be expensive as hell. Completely useless for work trucks because what work owner is going to go buy, a 500 horsepower or 400 horsepower truck, that could smoke its tires and has a useless bed. I'm trying to, none of these trucks are useful for somebody who owns a business because we know someone that uses trucks for their business. I don't see them running out and buying this. For some reason, I just don't see that happening. I mean, this really isn't. This is stupidity. I mean, I like fast things, but I also like practical things. This is neither, and it can tow 8,000 pounds. So what's the point? It's barely a truck. I mean, you can get an Explorer and tow more. Like, okay, and you can seat more people. So yeah, this is Ram's big idea. This is all Kuniskis got for us at this point. It's all he's got. He's got like I'm gonna make performance things instead of where is the simple, like Rooney said, where's the simple truck with the stick shift, just a base engine in it with 300 horsepower that a worker can have, and it's only $40,000. Because at 40 grand with Stellantis, you get a Pentastar V6 with an electric motor on it. So you double how bad that thing is. Yeah, this is not, yes, no standard cab either because Kuniskis doesn't think people buy standard cabs, even though most of the work trucks I see around here are F-150 single cabs. Mm-hmm. Quite strange that I see a lot of those here. It's not like I'm in some fancy, I mean, I'm in the suburbs of Tampa. And I see plenty of single cab F-150s. The local governments buy them here. Single cab F-150s. So basically, they don't even have government deals because they don't build vehicles that the government will buy. And that's usually easy money is selling to like, Parks Department and Water Department, people that use trucks. That's low hanging fruit. And they aren't doing that. So, oh well. Yeah. So this is yeah, I don't even understand this. I don't. So I saw this, and that's why I had to just talk about it because it's stupid. Because it's Stellantis. All right. So here's the big announcement Stellantis had already because they're looking for partners. So they're looking for partners. Remember, this is the combination of Fiat and Peugeot. Mm-hmm. So everybody ready? Here's the greatest partnership of the 21st century. Stellantis and Jaguar Land Rover. Ouch. This may go down as one of the worst ideas ever.
Are you?
I wish I was kidding. It's actually true. They're looking to collaborate on product development. Remember, Jaguar is the company that brought us the square shoe and got rid of all. They brought us this thing, and they got rid of all their gas motors. Because I want to partner with the company that unlived its brand by basically running away from what actually made it successful. Because you can't use the S word on here.
Speechless.
They literally are combining with this company that had to fire their CEO and the designer of this thing. This is who Stellantis has got a partnership with.
Oh. That way there's no new models coming out now.
This is literally, I could not believe this when I saw it. And they're looking for synergies. I don't know what synergies you can get from this company, but sure, guys, whatever you want. The partnership might result in shared platforms. Oh, what does Jaguar have to offer to anybody? Yes, Rooney, the one with the weird fruity advertising. Absolutely, yeah. That was Jaguar, and that's the company Stellantis is getting in bed with. Oh, that's a bad choice of words, I guess.
Oh,
yes, Daimler Chrysler is no longer embarrassing. No, it isn't. This may be the worst collaboration, merger, whatever you want to call it, I've ever seen in studying automotive history. Being a student, I can't think of another combination worse than Fiat Peugeot, but this one, because Fiat Peugeot was the worst up to this point. But drag queens are upping their wardrobes. Yep.
They went there. That's good. That's good.
Land Rover is no longer owned by BMW. BMW had it in the late 90s. And then they bought it from Ford. And then they stole everything off of it and made the X5. The X5, and they had them for side by side. The first generation X5 has Land Rover parts in it. So if you need parts for an X5 from like 1999 to 2006, look up Land Rover. Like, that's where I got the rear view mirror for my E36. That's basically the same as an X5. It was actually of a Land Rover. It was $20 because it was not a BMW part. Huh. So there's the transfer case is the same. They actually shared engines. They shared transmissions. They shared a lot of parts between the two vehicles. And I think they shared the same horrible air suspension. Yes, 4339. Yes, when you couldn't believe, there it is. Tata of India, I think, owns this still, but I don't know if they're really taking credit for it anymore. I think even they went, yeah, this is not good. Oh, hi, G Counter. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, you joined us right when we talked about the greatest merger ever, Stellantis and Jaguar Land Rover, because why not? Enticing stuff. There's nothing enticing that can be going on between these two companies. Antonio Filosa, who I think is the worst CEO in all of Cardom. Deal could result in meaningful benefits for both sides while remaining focused on delivering the products and experiences their customer love. Jaguar basically took a giant piss on their customers and said, we don't want you anymore. They literally did that with their ad campaign. They literally just they pulled down their pants and they just took a big steamy right on their doorstep going, we don't want you anymore. Oh, neither automaker clarified what the pair is seeking to collaborate now. Jesus Christ. JLR produces 0 vehicles in the United States and had to pay $410 million in additional tariffs last year, forcing the automaker to raise prices and delivery charges. Collaborating would include sharing technologies and platforms. What platforms does Jaguar have at this point? They have nothing. They have that thing. And who wants a Land Rover? Because literally, if you want to make more friends, buy a Land Rover, because everybody at the dealership will be your friend by the end of the first year. You'll spend so much time there. You'll be invited to Christmas parties. You'll be on Christmas list. It'll be really a big deal. Yeah. G. Cannon, I don't even know what to say about the debacle. I need to why.
No.
I don't know. Didn't Packard say something like that about buying Studebaker? Yeah, but that was basically that was done to try to make the two companies live, and they were both out of money at that point.
But at least they had platforms and designs and engines.
Yeah. The head of JRL, PB Balaji, said that working with Stellantis would allow the company to explore complementary capabilities in product and technology, whatever that means, as long-term growth plans in the U.S. market. Wait, I'm not even sure Stellantis has long-term growth plans in the U.S. market. Stellantis has announced a partnership ahead of its investor day, which is tomorrow, when Filosa will lay out the vision to fix the company. This ought to be rich. I may have to just go on the air after it just to talk about this, because it may be that bad. I have a feeling it will be that bad. I have a feeling that it will be that bad, because they're going to focus on Jeep, Ram, Peugeot, and Fiat. And so far they have totally screwed up Jeep. They have screwed up Ram. Peugeot is garbage, and Fiat is hated in Italy. They have successfully really pissed off enough people. I'm impressed. I'm truly impressed. Announced today the joint venture with Dongfeng. So Stellantis is also going to work with the Chinese, which that always works out well in the end, right?
They're going to build Jeeps there.
Chinese doesn't steal any of your information, your intellectual properties or anything, make copies of it. No, not at all. No, not at all. No. What could go wrong? Stellantis has many brands. Most of them are losers. Yes, they are. I love this, Dennis. You've never known me to be a loss of words, but this is just warped enough that I'm finally there. This is literally one of those stories that I could not believe I was reading. I can't believe that they even tried to put a positive spin on this. This is, as they say, retarded. There's no other word for this. This is retarded. So they're gonna make a thing with Chinese company over in Europe. The Voya luxury brand will build hybrid and electric vehicles at Stellantis plant in France. Oh, goody. So the quality should be top friggin' notch. So Motor One with their hot take. Okay, Motor One. Stellantis and JLR are a likely couple, but these are unusual times. The ever-changing industry is forcing companies to get creative so they can still build and sell products to people that want. Are you kidding? That is a horrible hot take. This is a combination that helps no one. JLR has nothing to offer anybody at this point. If they had something to offer, Tata would have sold them to somebody already. I guess they found a sucker though. I guess they found the sucker in Stellantis, because there is no way you look at this ad campaign for that car and go, I want to do business with these people. They look like it looks like they really got the world by the balls. Well, some of those people in that ad did, but yeah. Peugeot knows some stuff. I don't know if any of it's any good, but yes, they do know some stuff. They have not been known for very good vehicles. And yeah. I didn't even see that many in when I was in Italy. I didn't see that many of them. I saw Citroens. Citroen actually outsells them, which is actually kind of depressing. There it is. Yep, and I actually had videos about this 2 years ago. Chrysler, Dodge, gone. Yeah, I mean, we are now mid-May, right? Almost end of May, and there is no announcement. Well, I have a story, but there's no concrete announcement for a Chrysler car for next year. I mean, literally 2027 is already here. September is when it starts, and there's no announcement, no nothing. Let's see. 20-cent motor. I love this. A Barth, Alfa Romeo, Chrysler, Citroen, Dodge, DS automobiles, which I did see one in Sicily. Very weird looking car. Fiat, Jeep, Lancia, which is another failure. Maserati, Opel, another failure. Peugeot, Ram, and Vauxhall. You didn't know they owned Vauxhall, did you?
No.
GM unloaded Vauxhall onto Peugeot, and same thing with Opel. Yeah. So this is just terrible at this point. I mean, it doesn't get any. I mean, this is literally the most comical thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, honest to God, I don't even know where to. I mean, honestly, it's almost one of those things where you don't know where to go after such a horrible. I knew it was bad, but then I started really looking at this more with the chat and going, "Yeah, this is really friggin' bad." So wait, so let's look at some. Here's a rumor. So with the great Stellantis. So this is a rumor for the great Stellantis company about Chrysler, because Chrysler's, and it's from my favorite. It's from my favorite news source, Mopar Insiders, the basically pay to play propaganda arm of Stellantis. They were a propaganda arm of Fiat too. Here they are. Chrysler could bring back an affordable new car and a new Pronto. First of all, Pronto is a Fiat car. Pronto is a Fiat name. And I don't know why you'd want to bring a low-cost car to Chrysler. That's like bringing a low-cost car to Cadillac. It makes no sense at all. Why do you want a low-cost car in your luxury brand? Or they don't see Chrysler as a luxury brand, which is really disturbing. Chrysler's dead. I mean, with these clowns in front of it, they are dead. And there's not even this is vaporware. There's no real pictures of this. They put the minivan nose on it, which is absolutely atrocious. This is painful to look at. I mean, this actually it gives me douche chills. It's so bad. So blah, blah, blah. Where the affordable vehicles. So future Chrysler entry. I don't know why Chrysler Dodge needs an entry-level vehicle badly. Maybe we'll take a detour. I actually pulled up the numbers of how many Chargers are on lots right now. Yes, you can. You have to actually sell automobiles to be a luxury brand. That is correct. In name, they are a luxury brand. In name, they are a luxury brand. I'm not so sure in reality, but in name. So people familiar named from the Chrysler Compton car past Pronto, which is once again a Fiat. I actually had a Fiat Pronto when I was in Sicily. Great little car. If they brought it over for Dodge, and kept it at $25,000, my God, they wouldn't keep them on the lot. They would actually be moving these things out faster than they can make them. So $20,000 range, which I can't even see that happening. How do you make a $20,000 car now? In America, you can't. So there we go. And most dealers made their money selling Neons and Sundances and Acclaims and Spirits, cars that were affordable. They're also all Dodges. We make payments on. We've gotten away from that heritage. Calendar's comments highlight something enthusiasts and dealers have been discussing for years. It wasn't that long ago that Chrysler, Dodge, and Plymouth offered affordable vehicles. Well, Chrysler did not, because it's Chrysler. They weren't halo cars. They helped bring customers into showrooms. Many young buyers purchased those vehicles' first car and remain loyal to the brand, which they don't care about anymore. The Pronto name has history. The Plymouth Pronto concept. Wow. That's the PT Cruiser. That's what the Pronto became, the concept. What an absolute. Yeah, let's remember that car. Let's remember this one, because that was such a winner. The Pronto Spider and Pronto Cruiser, eventually the Silence PT Cruiser, became one of Chrysler's biggest sales successes because it was sold to rental car companies everywhere. It literally, it was the rental car. Really, if there's a problem name internally, it could signal that the company once again is thinking about affordable, compact transportation with distinctive styling and simply chasing luxury margins. Filosa says affordability is a priority. Okay, whatever. I hear that from politicians too. It's already acknowledged the company needs to rethink affordability in the American market. Speaking earlier this year with Detroit News, Filosa said Stellantis is actively evaluating how to bring more affordable vehicles back to the lineup. Yes, by making 600 horsepower trucks. There you go. That's bringing it right back there, Filosa. Your actions speak much bigger than your words. Because the first Stellantis understands the pricing alone is not enough for the company. Company also needs vehicles specifically designed to hit lower price points while still offering desirable styling, technology, and fuel efficiency. Below 40 grand. And vehicles below 30, which they can't do. There's no way. The thing is, he just basically described the Nissan Sentra. He literally just described the Nissan Sentra. So Chrysler, and they just go on about, how Chrysler doesn't have anything and they could use the thing. Why would you want a Chrysler in the $20,000 range? So you'd have a Chrysler undercutting Dodges. Just sit back and think about that for a second. You'd have Chryslers undercutting Dodges. That is just embarrassing. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's true. Down in South America, where Filosa ran things, Chrysler was an entry level. Yeah, because they didn't have the other two brands down there. Exactly. How can you make a $25,000 car to sell in America? You make it in Mexico. No, you can't even do that. You can't even do that. It's impossible to make U.S. safety standards. There's no way you can make you can make a $25,000 car. No way with UA with any type of union workers. Absolutely not. Not even a stretch. They are unionized in Mexico too. Let's not forget that they are unionized down there too. So it isn't like it's so much cheaper to manufacture down there. It isn't. So yeah. Yes. I mean, this was a precedent on the Mercedes. They kept Chrysler below the Mercedes. Yes, but that's not the way it should be. Yeah. So this is the Plymouth Espresso and the Neon. Yeah. I mean, those would make sense. I mean, but Plymouth, of course, a Dodge Neon would make sense right now. Something that's $30,000 would make sense because the Chargers are not selling. In fact, let us go and now actually go take a look at where the Chargers are, because this is amazing. So this is from last week. I got to put this one here. I got to remove this one. Okay. And we'll go and put this, enter the stage. Why is that not going? Okay. Add the stage. All right. So this is as of last week. This is how many Chargers were available. They had 11,196 on lots. 12,704 were made. Okay. This is last week. This is from their website, nationwide, all the gas ones. There are barely any electrics available anywhere in the United States. So let's go and now take a look at this week. So this week, I pulled it yesterday, and this week, they have 300 more on the lot, and there's the same amount of made.
Yes. So
pretty much these cars aren't selling. And right there, I left it on there because that's the cheapest Charger you can buy. $52,000 before they put money on the hood. 52 grand before tax, tag, and title and dealer fees. 52 grand. And you can get any color you want as long as it's black. This car is a failure. I mean, this is a failure on such a level that I don't know if this car survives another year. Because there is no way to fix this car at this point. How do you fix a car that it by design is a complete loser? How do you fix a car like that? I mean, because this has happened before in the automotive world, where you had a car that was, a disaster, and you just kind of like walked away from it. This has happened. Like Ford walked away from the Falcon name because, I mean, literally it got to the point where they couldn't sell them. Let's see, Dodge walked away from the Polara because it was just like, okay, it no longer, was no longer, as in when they redesigned the fuselage one, it didn't sell. And the price point, I mean, they just walked away from it. This Charger, they spent so much money developing this car that at this point, when do you call it quits? I'm so interested to hear what Filosa has to say tomorrow, because I want to see what they're going to talk about with Dodge and Chrysler. And I have a feeling it's just going to be rebranding of garbage from Europe that no one wants anyway. And I don't understand, they've made a lot of these Chargers and aren't selling any of them. And this is pretty bad. G Cannon, actually, it's not even a V6. It's an inline 6 with twin turbos, like a B58. It's like a BMW, except worse.
But it's not.
Much worse. Yeah. Sounds like Guatemala's getting a new Chrysler plant. Yeah, that may be a plan. What was the last year to Falcon? I think it was 68 because it just grew too big, and Ford just, I mean, it was not competitive in any class. It couldn't compete with the A bodies from Chrysler, and it couldn't compete with the B bodies. So it was in no man's land, and General Motors ate its lunch. So I don't know. I mean, it literally is. Yeah, I think that was when
the Maverick took its place.
The Maverick took its place, and was smaller, a little more efficient, nicer design. Because the thing is, so the Falcon frame survived on until 1980s. That same chassis, and because Iacocca kept using it because that's Lee Iacocca. Yeah, it moved on to a mid-sized base model. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, the same thing with the Mustang 2. The Mustang 2 was not a bad car. It really wasn't. But the problem was that it wasn't a Mustang, and it sold okay, but then it didn't. And it was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. So, I mean, that's but it still sold better than this new Charger. Let's all remember this new Charger, the gas-powered one, sold 1,600 models in 3 months. 3 months plus, because it actually came out in December. So it didn't sell worth a damn in the beginning of the year. It's not selling now because I've now seen one. I've seen one in person on the road. One. And I live in an area where you've seen two. I live in an area, I see a lot of new cars. I mean, I was behind a Maserati today, a real one, a coupe. I was behind a real Maserati. I mean, brand new car. I see lots of new cars where I live. Lots of new cars. I don't see any of these. I see lots of Mustangs, brand new Mustangs. I see lots of them, and so it'll be interesting what Filosa says tomorrow. But I can't imagine him having some monstrous plan that's going to make us believe that Stellantis is going to be successful in the United States because of these things. This is just what they're fighting against. And let me add to stage. This American auto manufacturer built 2,700 engines with the same defect that the engines were recalled. That is literally what you're dealing with at Stellantis. They recalled an engine because there was sand in it from casting. It was the original Hurricane 4. And then they cast a bunch of engines with sand in it after the recall. So this is literally, it's in the Jeep Wrangler and the Grand Cherokee 4xe, the ones that catch fire. So this is literally the same mistake made out of, they recalled 112,000 of these vehicles, and they still made the same mistake on almost 3,000 engines until they caught it. I mean, this is a company that you think is going to bring a $25,000 car to North America. Let me really rephrase that. There's no way this company can bring it. Remember, they're partnering with Jaguar. Let's not forget this. They're partnering with Jaguar. This is insanity. I mean, literally, we are in. This has to be. What was that movie? The movie about everything being stupid, everyone being stupid. Idiocracy. Yeah, we are living in idiocracy. There's no. I can't describe any other things. We are living in idiocracy. There's no way. There's no way, no how that this is not that, because I'm seeing stuff that I can't even fathom at this point. And so tomorrow, Dodge releases a car that no one wants. Dodge. I mean, it's like usually that's a slam dunk, but they did, and now they're partnering with Jaguar, who had guys in dresses in their main ad last year. Let's never forget that they had guys in dresses in their ad last year to sell cars to who knows who. The modern audience that does not exist. Okay. So let's get a palate cleanser here, and let's talk some classic cars, because I'm getting too depressed on this. Yes, it is, G. Cannon, and you missed it. They catch fire, and they burn badly. Mustang 2 front end alignment specs work well for vintage motor parts. Yes, they do. Actually, the Mustang 2 brought us that rack and pinion thing. People use that front end to this day on hot rods. That is literally one of the most used front ends on hot rods, because the geometry is real good. It had double wishbone and it had a rack and pinion, and it was compact, and that's why they love using, because everything's tight on that. And vintage is going away. All right, thank you. Good night. See you later, man. Okay. Dennis, if you think you're living in an idiocracy, you have definitely not been to Canada in years. It totally trust me, I read about your clown show up there. You're trust me. Whenever I feel bad about where I live, I read about Canada. I feel so much better. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Very simple and tight. That is exactly why that Mustang 2 front end was. That was an engineering genius. Engineering genius at this point. The Ascana? The Opel Ascana? I don't even. Oh, yeah, they had tight little front ends on them too. All right, so let's actually clear our palates with some old cars, because I can't anymore. I just can't. All right, so this isn't that old, but it is. It's 21 years old. Everybody remembers this Ford Explorer Sport Track. That was a cool little truck. And honestly, I think that this may be one of those things that will become a little bit of an underground classic. I honestly think, because they're neat enough. Didn't they have V8s in them?
Yes, you could get a V8. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, this is actually a pretty neat little thing. And this is the one of the they were going to make a hotter version, the Adrenaline, because Adrenaline was their high end like SUV thing. It was like always the code name was Adrenaline. And this is the concept, and it's been sold a couple of times. But Ford doesn't destroy their concept cars, which is kind of interesting. General Motors is notorious for destroying their concept cars, and so is Chrysler. But Ford seems like I've seen so many Ford concept cars out there. It's amazing. Like the Lincolns from the 60s and all, with the bubble tops and all that type of weird stuff. I mean, I've seen a lot of those. And yeah, they were good about not destroying things. So this was on Facebook Marketplace. They were trying to ask $135,000 for it. Goes back up to grabs again. It's on Bring a Trailer. So let's see where it is on Bring a Trailer. Let's see if this actually brings it up. So it is on Bring a Trailer. And right now, for $7,000, you can be the high bidder. I have a feeling that this guy is not going to get $150,000 for some reason on here. I'm just trying to figure this out. So this is look at it. The chassis is Sport Track 2005 001. So literally, this is pure concept car. 4.6 V8 in it. Yep, there's your V8. 4-speed automatic, all-wheel drive. 21-inch one-off wheels. Shaved door handles, front and rear bucket seats. Gas tanks in the back there. And this is a really neat thing. This one had a Mustang Cobra's engine in it. So yeah, this is on Bring a Trail. It's on Bring a Trailer. It's ends in 5 days, and they're hoping to get more than $135,000 for it. It's a little slow start. It's a slow build. I mean, it's a very neat looking vehicle, and best of luck to them. But I think the regular ones are actually going to be something that's going to be collectible. Especially you can put the hot 4.6 in there. I mean, it's kind of a cool thing. So, yeah, that was kind of something I saw. It was kind of interesting because it's one of those cars that we keep on looking for stuff that is going to be like something that somebody would want to have and is repairable, but not an electronic nightmare. And actually, early 2000s is still a fixable car. So this isn't a bad thing. I just don't know if they're going to get that money for it because it seems like the market is getting kind of dry. And that leads us into this thing. So this is a Hemi Challenger RTSE. This is a rare car. I mean, because an SE was basically adding a lot of formal stuff into the car. It added a little bit to the price. And for a Hemi, most of those cars you didn't want to add anymore. They were expensive to start with. A Hemi added almost $1,000 to the car, so it was expensive. So this is one of 59 produced, has all the information on it. It only sold for $236,000. Now you're saying, "Oh my God, Dennis, it's a lot of money." Not for a rare Hemi car. This is especially an E-body. That's actually down a lot. This type of car that maybe 3 years ago would have gotten 450,000. Yeah, this is actually, and it tried to sell a few times, and I think they pulled the reserve off, and it only went for 236. And see, there's and it's ROB. It's a 70 Hemi, 97,000 original miles on it. It's slapstick car. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, the car is absolutely gorgeous. It's in a beautiful B5 blue. Or was that B3? It's actually the light one. Very light and beautiful color. One of 4 built for the Canadian market. So it's an export car. There's only 4 of these cars made to go to Canada. So this makes it even rarer. It has the original engine in it, which is insane. Most of them were blown up. It is B5. Black interior, black vinyl top, original from the factory. Has a fender tag and the broadcast sheet. It has been inspected, restored. It's a power window car, power steering, power brakes, 8-track, 6-way adjustable seats, and rally wheels. Somebody spent a lot of money on this car. Yeah. This car was probably well north of $5,000, which was almost Chrysler money. I mean, this was an expensive Challenger, because Challengers were, an RT was in the low 3s to start with, add $1,000 for the Hemi, and then just start adding these options on there, because radios were expensive. Radios were a few $100s. Yeah. People don't realize radios, like an FM radio, was a few $100s. It was a thought to put it in. 8-track was even more. Back then, though, the 8-track only came with AM.
Yes.
In 70, which is really weird. So here it is. No call outs on there. It's the way it would be. The engine has been, perfectly restored. I mean, that is the way a 70 Hemi would look. It even has the mini spare. We don't get a clear picture of the fender tag, which kind of sucks. But I mean, this is literally a car that would have been $400,000 a few years ago, and now is just in the same SE emblems that are on my car.
That's cool.
They reuse these things so much. The same ones, the same damn thing. But yeah, I mean, it even has it doesn't have a bumblebee. It has a longitudinal stripe. I mean, there's so many things about this car that make it unique. And the same SE that I have in my car, special edition. That's nice. So this is kind of where we are, though. The market is getting kind of weird. And I've seen videos, other people's videos on it. And actually, I looked through, and it was like talking about 2 different markets and stuff. And like this, like the cheap stuff's is going down, but the I think the cheap stuff's going up and the expensive stuff starting to come back down to earth because you've just run out. I think you've run out of buyers. I think that you really have run out of buyers and you run out of credit because a lot of these cars were also bought on credit. And that's not talked about a lot. Not this one because this is just way too much. But those $80,000 cars, people are financing them. It isn't just rich dudes that buy them.
Right.
It is literally one of those things where this part of the market's kind of tapped out at this point. And that literally sold for less than a 440 Superbird, which they made a lot more of than this. I mean, it's a visually striking car, but a 440 Superbird will sell more than $236,000 all day long. Just a 440 regular Superbird, automatic, not even a stick. So this car was really, and there's nothing wrong with the car. It's not like, oh yeah, it has mismatched this or this. No, it is. I mean, this car is literally certified as perfect. I mean, it is a perfect example of a Hemi Challenger, and I think it didn't sell for a couple auctions. So this is like the second or third auction that this car has been in, and it finally sold. So this is kind of one of those things where is the market starting to crack? I'm thinking that. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think out there? Because I think the market's starting to crack at this point. I just
you can always go up. I mean, you can always. What's the saying where you can always go down, you can't go up. So if you have a cheaper car, it could slowly go back up a little bit. But when you're already at top dollar, it's going to max out and it's going to drop eventually.
Yeah, and it seems like we're kind of there because this is the type of car that, especially in e-body, and then everybody the body style like Challengers and Cudas from 70 to 74 are called e-bodies.
Okay.
And they're based on the front ends are based on the B body, so they can put the big engines in them. And honestly, these are the cars that everybody wants. I mean, I don't know why they ride horribly and they absolutely handle like garbage, especially with a Hemi in it. It doesn't go around corners. But it's a sexy looking smaller car, pony car as they say. And the thing is, this was always the leader in the market for Mopars. Like everybody knows about the Hemi Cudas, especially the convertibles. They built 12 of them, and I've seen 5. I've seen 5 of the 12. And there's only 12 of them, and they're Hemi convertibles, and they only made them for 1 year, and there they are. And so those are top dollars. Those are multi-million-dollar cars, but those are going to the people that buy multi-million-dollar cars. Those aren't going to people that are going to drive it. Certified dead on balls accurate. Yes. And that's what's so disturbing. I mean, this isn't a hack job. This is somebody that spent, if this car was bad in any way, shape, or form, you're talking 6 figures to make the car look like this. I mean, because these cars rot. It had 100,000 miles on it. If that engine needed rebuilt, a Hemi is not. I mean, you just look at a Hemi and it's $5,000. I mean, every part on a Hemi is expensive. I mean, scary expensive. And then, all the body panels, all the work, all the stuff. I mean, easily you can get to 6 figures just restoring this car. So there is no way, 236,000 may seem like a lot, but if you dropped 150 into the car, that's really not a great return on your money because you sank a lot of cash in there, and you made $80,000 on 150. That's not really where you want to be. You want to double your money, and you don't want to just make just like when you have a movie, you don't want to make a $10 million profit. You want to double your money because it's the reason you spent all the money. Right. So I found this is a very interesting thing for Mecum. And I mean, and it had gone to a couple of auctions. So it isn't just because it was at Indy. It had been to a few auctions. It did not sell. And worst of all, though, is that this car went on a Thursday. Think of that for a second. This car, they didn't even roll it out on a Saturday. They rolled this car out on a Thursday. And Mecum is very friendly to Mopars. And I guess they just knew that the buyers for this car were there on Thursday, because Mecum knows when the buyers are there for certain cars, and they make arrangements to make sure those bidders are there, because I mean that's their business. They make 10% on each side. They want to make sure the car sells, and this is here we go, and part of me is hoping that the price on these cars starts dropping. If nothing else, all the rotted out parts cars aren't thought of as 10 to 15,000 gold mines. Yeah. Partially going to be right, partially not. They're so ingrained right now. There will be a correction. There's always going to be. But the thing is, until there is like massive replacement parts, especially for Mopars. See, Mopars, we have a problem that other car manufacturers don't have, except AMC, but they're special. Like literally, this car, everything is made for. That's great. A 71 Charger, good luck. You're literally walking into a hellhole, and that's why, a car that has good stuff on it is worth like a 71 Charger that still has good body on it. It's worth $7,000 just because of the body panels, because they're not available. They just don't exist. Like trunks don't exist. They're $1,000. A trunk lid is $1,000. Taillights, they're $500 a piece. Fenders are $800 a piece for 71, 72 because they're the same fender. They don't make them. There are no aftermarket parts made for that. The hoods, they don't even make the air grabber hoods anymore, and they don't make flat hoods anymore. They don't exist. And so, you're looking at, and then whatever's made for this car, it's available. It ain't cheap, but it's available. So, as far as the price is coming down a lot, probably in the top end, but your mid-range cars, I can't see it because that's what everybody has. I mean, A bodies are 20 grand and up now, and those are cars that nobody wanted 20 years ago. Because I mean, honestly, if you've ever ridden in a Dart or a Scamp, you realize what an absolute horrible car it is to ride in. I mean, they're not well-built cars. I mean, they were cheap cars. They were literally a $2,000 car in 1968. They're not going to ride like a Cadillac. They're going to ride horrible. But those cars are now the only thing that's left, and they're 20 grand all day long. I go on Facebook Marketplace, and it's 20 grand all day long. Wow. And it's like, wow. My car, I insure my car for a dollar amount. I can't replace my car for that dollar amount. And I had a hard time having them agree to that dollar amount because nobody sells 72 SEs with power sunroofs. There's no sales of them. They don't go through auction. They don't go on Facebook Marketplace. They aren't beyond lots. They don't exist. There's maybe of 72 Chargers, there's probably less than, there was 488 made. I can't imagine 200 are left. I honestly can't. And so how do you determine value on a car that doesn't sell? 20 Cent Motors. I rode in a 75 Valiant back in the 70s. There was very little isolation. Yeah, there's no sound deadening in that car. That adds weight and money. They don't care. Yes, you can. And I don't know. I don't think he was trying to screw them over because it's in their best interest to make money on this car. I think that they put it the best they could, but the market is just not there. And the thing is, it's in a desirable color. It's in B5 blue. This is desirable. In fact, it's such a desirable color. Stellantis brought the color back for the Chargers and Challengers. For last call, B5 was a color. It is a color. That SC was going to have a groovy overhead console. Absolutely. That's part of the SC package on these cars really went above and beyond. I don't think they have any pictures of it, though. They have no pictures of the overhead console, which I love. I don't know who took these pictures, but Ray Charles? I don't know. Yeah. So, I mean, it's even has the right tires on it. I mean, everything about this is just, but we're at a really weird time now with the classic cars, and I don't know. We're at a weird part, and everything's just gotten weird. And the thing is, though, there's nothing from America from the 80s and 90s outside of Mustangs and Camaros and Firebirds and Trans Ams and Corvettes that is collectible from that time period. GNs, but Grand Nationals were only 2-year-old car. Grand Nationals are already 60 grand. I mean, because there aren't that many of them to exist. Buick Regal T-types. I mean, they're expensive because they're only a few-year car. So in the 80s and 90s, there really isn't a lot of American cars to go after. So by default, these cars are still going to hold value. And there's nothing from the 70s. I mean, the 70s is a friggin' wasteland. You barely even see cars from the 70s. So these cars really going down a lot in value? Not really likely. I don't really think so because they just don't. It's one of those things. It's like land. They don't make it anymore. They don't make these cars. They can't make these cars now. They physically can't. These cars would not even come close to passing any safety standards now. I mean, this car folds up like a cheap suit if you hit something with it. I mean, that engine ends up in your lap if you end up hitting somebody. and that's what 1970 safety on there. The earlier ones, make sure you have a good life insurance policy because yes, leather interior, yes, on the Challenger for the set SEs, which was 70 and 71, yes, you could get leather. Actually, leather stopped being available on Chargers in 72. That's a fact that I can't even fathom. Car was expensive, and they couldn't spare putting leather in it. You literally couldn't get leather in a Charger. Drop the safety standards, if only, and don't crash. Yeah, usually, that's the one thing I have kind of a problem with a lot of these ads today, especially Toyota and Subaru. They're like the most depressing. Like everybody's crashing in these cars.
Yeah.
My whole thing in life was never to crash my car. Like literally,
driving.
Or offensive driving, depending. But I mean, you made sure you had the best brakes you could, the best tires you could, and you practiced your skills and tried not to crash your car.
Right.
But now with these Toyotas and Subarus, it's literally like everybody's running into walls, getting T-boned, and it's just like
the Subaru ones are the worst though, because the Subaru one is like, it's not like, oh, it's a little fender bender or somebody, whatever. It's like the whole family. It's like steaming because like the radiator blew over everything, and like we're okay. Like, what did you hit?
Exactly.
Like, you're in a neighborhood.
There's a flaming Hulk behind them, and like, what you guys hit? You're in a city street. You're in a neighborhood street. G Canada, it's so cute. Thinking Mercury Marauders, the Impala SF Mark 7, Thunderbird Turbo, and Super Coupes are going to be nobody cares about those Thunderbirds. Nobody cares. I mean, really, even the Mark 7, really nobody cares. The Marauder, no, and the Impala SS, no. I mean, at this point, nobody cares about those cars. Trust me, I go to enough shows. I don't see them. Yeah. I mean, and when you see them, you run over to them. It's like, oh my God, look what I found. Yes, there's a certain decision buying segment that's very taken by these commercials. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Still thinking of the 19th Amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 80s and 90s trucks, and that's different, a whole value, but anything like the 60s, 70s muscle cars. Yeah, the 80s and 90s trucks are basically the end of the free, you can build as you want kind of vehicles, especially Ford and General Motors. Chrysler not as much because they really weren't offering. Ford, you could still get a 460. The 460 was available up into the early 90s. So, I mean, you can get F-250 with a 460 in it. Yeah, okay. That's something. But, the Dodge ones, yeah, they had some decent stuff there. Before the redesign, I think that's really where people would be. They had roller 318s in them. I mean, 360s. There is some potential. I mean, you can make them kind of fast. But, yeah, the trucks have much more advantage. The cars, it's just nothing there. It really is. It's kind of, I did a video. It's just like, there's nothing there in the 80s and 90s. It's very, That's why everybody runs back to the 60s and early 70s, because there's nothing. And yeah, I don't see it.
Like the Mark 7 was a good looking car, especially for when it came out in the early 80s with the composite headlamps. It was definitely a break from stodgy Lincoln.
Yes.
But it's still, I mean, I think they're sharp, but in some ways, unless you're really like into that, not even into that, but
yeah,
it still doesn't hold a lot of water. The LSC was again, very
it was
revolutionary.
groundbreaking. That was a groundbreaking car.
Yes.
It was groundbreaking,
Yes.
that car. Absolutely.
But unfortunately, it's still a lot of Ford 84 going on, so it just doesn't have a lot of, and like I said, I'm not knocking the vehicle, but
I love them, but I don't even see them.
right?
I don't even see them
No.
anymore. I even in Florida, where nothing, like, stuff lasts a long time down here, I don't see them. I just don't. I mean, that's why I did a video on that diesel one, because I was like, oh my God, a Mark 7.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I go to a lot of cruisins. I go to a lot of car shows that are not just
That's the
Mopar.
BMW diesel, right? That was the BMW diesel?
Yeah, of course. They got one that works.
Right.
Yeah. 80s Lincoln seem to have some interest because they don't. Yeah, I mean, that was an indestructible car, especially a town car.
Yeah,
It's a shame they get abused.
And there are some, and they are kind of a throwback, like, let's make lots of money, very, Wall Street style, this and that. But, and they're indestructible. But as far as like massive collectability, I just, you're unique. But American cars, I don't see it.
It's just not there. I mean, it really.
Not there.
Yeah, I know, G Canada. Your Lincoln rotted out, but you're in Canada. I'm in Florida. We don't have these problems. I mean,
Right.
80s cars get sunbaked down here. Like the red paint. Ford used the worst red paint in the world. It literally turned to dust in Florida sun. I've never seen paint turn to dust.
And blue and black.
No, the red is the worst. The red, literally, you go to the boneyard, you walk by one, you run your hand on it, and your hand turns red.
Yeah. Right.
From just the paint, this is whisking off the car to back to bare metal. All right, so we're gonna finish off on something fun. All right, something fun, I guess. So this is another insanely stupid top 20 list from IC Cars. I love doing these lists because, holy Christ, it's almost like they've never seen old cars before. I looked at this and my head rolled. All right, and they say American muscle cars. Okay, so muscle cars. Right, so they have a blown SS Camaro. All right, first, give me, it's a Pontiac GTO 64. Sure. That's sure. I'll run with that. I mean, you could have been nice not to show a picture of a convertible, but okay, fine. We'll deal with that. So yeah, let's see. Oh, was it red oxidized the most? Yes, it does. It's bad. Yep. It's also one of the most expensive colors. Oh my God. So G Canada's 86 town car is still out there. It's an orchid buggy, big wooden box in the entire back of the car. There you go. It has a second life. So yeah, so there is that. I mean, the second one they have here is the 65 Chevrolet Chevelle SX396. I have a friend that has one of these. It doesn't have that stupid hood on it, but yeah, sure. Sure. This is actually probably one of the nicer styled Chevys. In the mid 60s, they were very nice, very good looking car, crisp, clean. This I don't even understand. The 66 Dodge Charger Hemi. No one bought this car when it was new. No one wants this car now. This Hemi car is worth $70,000. In the condition you see it here, it's a $70,000.
I love that.
$70,000 to $80,000 car. It is. They command no money. Yeah. No one wants it. It's a cool car. These are electric headlights. They actually, when they rotate, the headlamps still have the grill behind it. I mean, it is a fancy car. The interiors are beautiful on this. The Hemi is it's a Hemi. It's a street Hemi. It's, it has a Dana. It's fast, but it's just, It also has a single master cylinder on it with a Hemi. Yep. Kind of scary. this was really kind of, yeah. I did a video on the Charger. They missed the mark on this car so badly. Yeah, 20-cent motor. Actually, just look around. Those Hemis are not that expensive. Those cars in general are not expensive. Trust me. Yeah, actually, when they were designing the original Charger, they thought that the fastback was going to be a thing. So that's why they said, "Oh, we need a car for NASCAR." Oh, and this fastback thing looks like it's going to happen. Until it didn't. They sold 12,000 Chargers the first year. They followed it up with 17,000 the second year. It's kind of a flop. And then they made the 68. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, it has the panelescent electrosensitive instrument lighting. Yes, it does. Which Chrysler had put out before it was perfected. All right, 67 Camaro Z28. Sure, that's the first one. 69 Plymouth Roadrunner, and they don't show the right car. The 69 440 plus 6 was not this car. This is a regular Roadrunner with a 383 in it. Hold on 1 second. Let me actually show you what a 69 and a half, because that's the thing. Plymouth. I can't type, so if you spell it wrong. Here it is. This is a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner 440 plus 6 car. That is it. Not this picture here. That is a regular Roadrunner. And that is actually a 1970. To insult to injury, this is a 1970 because the grill, 1 year only, up grill, 1969, open grill. Same as the 68, except more open. Good work, guys. Great job. Yes, and Barry Kuda. Yeah, the original Camaros were very nice cars. General Motors literally took their homework and worked hard on it. And I have to admit they did a great job. But I like the Pontiac better. The Pontiac is Pontiac's just next level. 65 Mustang GT, which this isn't. I don't know what that is. Isn't that like a 68?
Yes, it was like a 68, and it's like the Eleanor style conversion.
So I love these articles.
Terrible photos.
I love these articles.
Like stock photos.
All right, 69 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am, which is one of the hardest cars to get, and I think that is one. So they didn't make many of these, and yeah, okay. 70 Oldsmobile 442 W30. Okay, sure. I wouldn't have the convertible version, but sure. 70 GSX Stage 1. Yep, okay. Good enough. 68 Mustang Shelby GT 500 KR. Okay. 70 Dodge Challenger RT SE Hemi, which we just saw sold.
Yeah.
The 69 Chevrolet Camaro ZL. And then this is not a muscle car. The 2023 Dodge Challenger SRT Jailbreak is not a muscle car. It is a how can I put it? It's a high-end car. This is not a muscle car. It's somebody working at McDonald's can't afford this car. Hell, most people that work jobs can't afford this car. This is not a muscle car. This is an exotic. Doesn't deserve to be on this list. I mean, it's fast. It looks like a muscle car, but it isn't one. So we'll move on. 73 Super Dirty. Yeah, absolutely boss car. 69.
So before you go on, I was gonna say that earlier Firebird, it was a 69. I think that's actually a 70.
Yes.
Because that's the exact same body style as that, and it's like that Camaro one headlamp on each side front end look. So they were wrong on that picture too.
Wait, this one gets better. All right, all the Mopar guys out there are going to lose their minds. A 69 Dodge Charger Daytona as they show a regular Dodge Charger. That is a regular, that's not even an RT. That is a regular Dodge Charger. That's not. They could not find a Daytona picture. They could not find. I mean, let me go look. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see if I can find one. Oh wait, I think I did. Hold on. I think I found the Daytona. Wait a minute. Holy mackerel! I found the Daytona. You got to be kidding me. So they couldn't find this picture. They literally couldn't find this picture. Good article, guys. You're really nailing it. This is a Daytona. This is a base Charger. That's done like General Lee's base, with like the General Lee wheels on it, with really low profile. Yeah. So okay. So there we go. Is this even a 70 Chevelle? I'm not even sure at this point if that's a Chevelle. 70. 69 Ford Mustang Boss 429. Okay, this one actually is. They read the license plate. This is what you get when you let a computer people talk about cars. Yeah. 69 Pontiac GTO Judge. All right, that looks like a 69. Yeah, the grill. It's the right one. That's a 69. But it's a convertible. I wouldn't pick the convertible. And I don't even know if that's a Judge. I don't see the striping on it. Hold on. Wait a minute. 69 GTO Judge. Because I always thought Judges had striping packages. Yeah, they do. What do you know? Hold on. This is what a 69 Judge looks like. Hold on, everybody. That's a 69 Judge.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what car this is. I have no idea. It's not a Judge. This is a great article. Another car that is an exotic, 2018 Dodge Demon, because nobody with a regular job could afford this car. It's not a muscle car. 71 Hemi Cuda convertible. Sure, why not? And that's it. That's the end of the article. What an absolute comedy show this article was. I mean, this one's probably the best. The wrong Charger. Or maybe the wrong, or having the wrong
Firebird.
The wrong Firebird, the wrong Mustang, the wrong Roadrunner. I mean, of all the cars in the world to get wrong, a Roadrunner? Everybody knows what a Roadrunner looks like, except I guess this guy. This is impressive, and that's a 383 car, or it could be a full 46 pack car, but I'm guessing it's a 383 car because that air clean is very small. Full 46 packs are pretty big, and it doesn't say it anywhere. And actually, it'd be a 6-barrel because it's a Plymouth. But yeah, there we go. There's this incredible list to make you guys, everybody laugh. We all laugh because this is probably one of the dumbest lists I've ever seen in my entire life. And they rank cars on this site, so please don't use this. Oh, pardon me. Pardon. Oof, the Chili's is not sitting well. But you know, this is what we have on the internet. We have non-car people making car lists, and there it is. I mean, wow. On that bombshell, I think we need to call it a night. Yes, the Judge should have had it on the front fenders. Yes, that's why I looked at it. What, that ain't right. I've seen enough Judges in my life to know that was just not right. I don't even know what the criteria was for this list. I have no idea. There was no A-body Mopars on here. No 340 Darts, no 340 Demons, which actually outran big block cars all day long. The 340 Demons were fast. Not on the list. Not on the list at all. No Box Nova. Not on the list. Why would it be? So yeah, on that incredible bombshell, I think we're gonna say goodnight. Do you have anything for us, Fluno?
No, except for I'm actually glad I was delayed with the week flying by, and I'll talk to my friend about his dad. And for next week, I'll make sure I get you the pictures and more information, and we can do the presentation on the vintage hot rod magazines that we kind of briefed on last week a little bit about. So hopefully
Yeah.
I'll get some good pictures. Maybe I'll even talk to you a little bit about them and go back and forth, and that way it can be fine-tuned, no
Okay.
pun intended,
Cool.
to make sure it's good for your presentation.
Cool. Yeah.
That's
And
it.
I'm gonna have a couple little shorts on using vacuum gauge. Got that video out there. Share that with anybody you need to tune a car, please, because it's the first thing you should grab. And I will have more information on this cross ram I'm working on tomorrow. I'll probably post some pictures on the old socials there. I do have a Facebook page of DJ's Classic Garage on Facebook. I've been trying to throw a little stuff up there. I'm not the best at remembering to do things because editing videos takes a lot of time. Hopefully we'll have my Mopars at Merritt's video done at the end of after the holiday. And so we got all that stuff going on DJ's Classic Garage. I'm probably going to throw some stuff on X just to have fun. I'm going to put out that poll in a few places about Pontiac. What four cars should they bring? And so that's what's going to be going on with DJ's Classic Garage over the holiday weekend, because the one day I wanted to go to a car show Sunday, it's supposed to friggin' rain. They're having one at the beach, like for sunset, but it's supposed to friggin' rain. So, oh well, there's that. And I refuse to do cars and coffee because I'm over that crap. So there we are. So everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. Be on the lookout for any type of stuff that I have on Stellantis, because this may be an absolute mess. And if anything happens with First Brands, I will let you guys know first, because something's got to happen soon, because nothing's going to happen until after Memorial Day at this point, because they're all vacationed. So yeah. Cool, Rooney. Thanks. I will not dox you. I don't look at the names of my followers. I don't really care. It's okay. I don't. And nobody can figure it out, I hope. So it's okay. All right. So there we are. And thanks a lot, everybody. And as always, you can always make a contribution. I'm always accepting that. But as always, though, if you have something fun or exciting or interesting, take it out, because you'll make someone's day, probably your own. And I will catch you very, very soon. Bye-bye. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching to this point. And as always, if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own.